Good afternoon. We now begin with our next panel discussion on investment in future mobility. I request the panelists to please come on stage. Mr. Sushil Kauthekar, Head Market Development, Tata Motors Passenger Electric Mobility. 2 minutes. Yeah. Before we begin the session, we have some announcement about.
नमस्कार, माझं नाम गुंजन आहे. मी इथे MCCI सोबत MSME साठी काम करते हैं. ते आमचा एक इनिशिएटिव है MSME हेल्पलाइन. रजिस्ट्रेशन के टाइम पर आप सभी को ऐसा एक ब्रोशर मिला होगा. इस पर MSME हेल्पलाइन क्या है? आप सभी की MSME है. आपको कभी ना कभी तो अपने बिजनेस में कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम आती है कि कहाँ से फाइनेंस लेना है, बिजनेस कैसे सेटअप करना है, इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट कैसे स्टार्ट करना है, या फिर ब्रांडिंग कैसे करनी है, मार्केटिंग कैसे करनी है. तो MSME हेल्पलाइन हमारा एक ऐसा इनिशिएटिव है कि हम आपको फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट कंसल्टेशन देते हैं. आपको सिर्फ यहाँ नीचे लिखे नंबर पर व्हाट्सएप या कॉल करना है. नेक्स्ट 24 आवर्स में हमारे जो इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स हैं उनके साथ आपका कंसल्टेशन बुक हो जाता है, जो 30 से 40 मिनट का होता है, और वो आपको 1-on-1 कंसल्टेशन देते हैं. इसकी सबसे अच्छी बात ये है कि ये कम्प्लीटली ऑनलाइन है. इसके लिए आपको फिजिकली नहीं आना पड़ेगा. आप अपने टाइम के हिसाब से कहीं से भी, अपने घर से, अपने ऑफिस से, किसी भी टाइम कंसल्टेशन ले सकते हैं, और इससे आपके बिजनेस को भी बहुत हेल्प हो सकती है. आपको अगर ये ब्रोशर नहीं मिला है तो आप रजिस्ट्रेशन डेस्क से कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे नीचे ये नंबर लिखा है, आप इस पे कॉल या व्हाट्सएप कभी भी किसी भी टाइम कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू. बोल.
सो हेल्पलाईनमध्ये टोटल 8 डोमेन्स आहेत आणि त्याच्यामध्ये ब्रँडिंग, मार्केटिंग, बिझनेस सेटअप अँड कंप्लायन्स, नंतर GST, फिनान्स, जेम पोर्टल या सगळ्यासाठी हँड होल्डिंग सपोर्ट सुद्धा करतो. गव्हर्नमेंट स्कीम सुद्धा आहे, ॲज वेल ॲज आम्ही कनेक्ट सुद्धा करून देऊ तुम्हाला, अँड इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट सुद्धा आहे. सो वी कॅन गिव्ह कम्प्लीट गायडन्स इन ऑल ऑफ दीज डोमेन्स, दॅट टू फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. थँक्यू.
Our panelists for today, Shri Sushil Kauthekar, Head Market Development, Tata Motors Passenger Electric Mobility, and Dr. Dadasaheb Shenge, Vice President, H2E Power Systems. May I request our moderator, Shri Raman Nanda, Convener, Family Business Forum, MCCI, to start the session.
So good afternoon, everyone. थोड़ा जोर से. Good afternoon. How was the lunch? Nice. Then it should speak, no? If the lunch was nice, it should speak. So good afternoon, all of you, and wonderful to be together with you. We have 30 minutes to talk about future mobility, and I have two fantastic panelists together with me. Mr. Sushil Kauthekar is the GM at Tata Passenger Electric Mobility, leads market development for EVs. He has over 21 years of industry experience, and he has worked in functions like Engineering Research Center, project management, product planning for commercial vehicle business, corporate strategy, where he led partnerships and new ventures at Tata Motors. He also led the ecosystem development for EVs, and now he is working on mainstreaming the Tata EVs in India. Let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Sushil. So my other esteemed panelist is Dr. Dadasaheb Shenge. He's been associated with H2E Power Systems Private Limited, Pune, as VP Innovation and Product Development for over 7 years. A key member in the development of a hydrogen bus, 32-seater, 9 meters, and a hydrogen three-wheeler using advanced storage technology. He is from the Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, in Mechanical Engineering, and later on PhD in Stirling Engine from the Department of Energy Science and Engineering at IIT Bombay during 2006 to 2012. After PhD, he has worked with ATE Group in energy efficiency solutions as senior manager and published 13 journal papers, 2 articles, and 13 national and international conference papers. Also, one of the inventors of 15 patents, out of which 8 have been granted. A member of the Board of Studies and contributing department level in the Energy Department of SPPU Pune, Shivaji University Kolhapur, VIT Pune, and PCCOE KJSCOE Mumbai. Current area of research is H2 blending and hydrogen production by solid oxide electrolyzer. Let's give a very big hand to Dr. Dada Sahib. So I'll skip introducing myself. You can see me. There's nobody taller than me in this room. I think that should be good enough for an introduction. So let me take my seat here to be comfortable and at eye level with my colleagues and with all of you. I think future mobility is something we read about, hear about every day. The government investing a lot of money in the FAME project, and in many, many other ways, you see China taking the lead over not only India, but even Europe, US, and rest of the world. So I think the investment in this area is not just about vehicles, but about ecosystem, the charging, the infrastructure, the supply chain, energy sources, and so on and so forth. So let me explain to you that Sushil is the expert on the EV side, and Dada Sahib is the expert on the hydrogen side. So I'm going to ask them questions in their respective domains, hoping that the two things don't mix up. But if they do, that's fine. So let me ask first Sushil to start with a quick overview of Tata Motors' role in future mobility and how that investment is shaping the sector. Please take a minute or two to explain.
Sure. Thanks, Ramanji. So I would like to thank Sudhanvaji and MCCI for inviting Tata Motors here. And I'm happy to be part of the discussion where I can share what we as the automotive industry in India are doing about electrification, as well as what as Tata Motors is doing about electrification. So it goes back to 2018-19 time frame when everyone was looking after running for diesel and petrol vehicles, where government of India decided that we would like to move into electric mobility, where the ESSL came up with a tender. And there were no electric vehicles in India, where Tata Motors was the organization which decided to take that leap of faith. And we had the Tigor EV, which was delivered to ESSL as the part of the tender. And that's where the electric vehicle journey for us as the company as well as country started. And from there we had Nexon EV, then we had Tiago EV, we have Tigor EV, and now we have Punch EV as well as Curve EV. So there are the entire range is now available in electric vehicles.
Yeah, that's quite a change, quite a jump.
Quite a jump. And we started with around few hundreds per month. And today we have last Sunday, we celebrated 2 lakh EV
So
owners.
let's give a big hand to them. Yeah.
So
It's wonderful.
privileged to be part of this journey, and this has not happened by fluke. It was essentially a conscious effort put in by not only Tata Motors. There was government which put in significant effort that industry comes forward into electrification. Then so there was policy structures which supported electrification. The entire ecosystem you talked about, whether it is supply side, whether it is charging infrastructure. So many Tata Group companies stepped up to create the ecosystem which is conducive for electric vehicles. And then the most important part is consumers. So consumers adopted. It was new technology for us as Indians, and we picked it up so fast. So the way we picked up UPI, and now everybody in the world knows India for UPI. I'm very sure world would know us for making most frugal electric vehicles which are at scale.
Thank you. Let's move to Dada Sahib to explain his company's outlook on this sector.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me here and including me. So S2E Power is, you can say, startup, IIT Bombay startup since 2010. Now we have completed projects, more than 25 projects in hydrogen field. So we are mainly in hydrogen generation. But we also developed hydrogen bus and hydrogen three-wheeler. Hydrogen bus, that unique projects that is sponsored by Oil India. So it is 400 kilometer, you can say, at a stretch. We can go. We are storing 21 kg hydrogen at type 4 cylinders. And it is working since last 2 years. And it is inaugurated by Prime Minister. Of course, costing and everything that we will discuss at question will come. But yes, we as H2E Power, we know the hydrogen as a molecule. We know the safety, what are the parts, and actually bus was integrated electrical to hydrogen. So we reduce battery capacity and we make a space for PEM fuel cell, and we run it for more than 600 kilometer. There will be issues. There are learnings. One project that we have experience on hydrogen mobility. Second is hydrogen. You can say three-wheeler with novel. You can say storage. So the storage at about ambient pressure. You can say metal hydrides, but unique metal hydrides integrated to store the hydrogen molecules, how to heat it and how to get hydrogen and at
Right.
what flow rate and 5 kilowatt PEM fuel cell. Safety we have assured.
Yeah.
But so there are many issues. So,
Sure.
but here as a company, we have experience in three-wheeler hydrogen and also hydrogen bus.
Fantastic. Let's give a hand to what H2E is doing. So let's come to the core issue, in terms of investment trends and market outlook. Where is the money flowing in future mobility? Is it in EVs? Is it in hydrogen? Is it a mix? And also, what investment gaps still exist in India's movement towards to clean mobility? So anyone can pick up. You want to start, Sushil?
Yeah, sure. So electric vehicles have been under discussion. As I mentioned, that government was very proactive in supporting electric vehicles journey in India. And as we know, in 2018-19, the FAME 1 came, followed by FAME 2, and then there was essentially a PLI.
Yeah.
So the significant investments have flown into auto PLI, which is where the entire supply chain has been, we have tried to make localization of
including batteries.
including the battery is a separate PLI. So when it comes to auto PLI, non-battery components are considered into that, but those are also involving the technology element. So the investments have come in to essentially offset the localization costs, and that has worked very well. It has whatever outlay we had projected, around 1.5 times of that outlay has been invested by many people. Then comes the ACC PLI, which is related to the battery. And their total 50 gigawatt hour capacity is what government of India has projected, and we see that in 2016-17 the outcome will start coming in. So investments have already flown into the battery ecosystem. And the third is essentially the semiconductor PLI, which is an important part of not only electric vehicles but now at large automotive industry. And that's where also the investments have already flown in. So led by the government's structure, PLI structure, many investments have flown in. And just to give you a sense, it is what government outlays is what we are seeing here. But if you just look at sheer number of vehicles that have gone up, it has not been possible without the investments that have flown in. So we were few thousands, couple of thousands in 2018-19. We are talking about 1 lakh electric four-wheelers every year. So that's the scale of investment those have gone into four-wheelers, and which is resulted into this scale.
Very good. Dada Sahib, would you like to share about the investment in the hydrogen sector?
Yes, yes. So I can give the status. So in India, there are about 11 hydrogen buses that are running officially. So, but now you can read also from 3rd March article from New and Renewable Energy Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Ministry. So they have launched pilot projects about 250 CR project, 37 hydrogen fueled buses. That out of that 22 will be hydrogen IC engine. Remaining will be with PEM fuel cell technology and 9 refueling station. So for hydrogen bus, you can say it is mainly driven by ministries, government, and you can say it is at pilot stage.
But they see the future. That's why they are putting money into it, right? The future is visible.
Future is visible. So what I see now present cost of hydrogen is $4. As a hydrogen electrolyzer, we are in the business of hydrogen electrolyzer. Hydrogen production cost may come up to $0.7.
Oh,
If this $4 to $0.7, not $1, we are telling, that is net cost, $0.7 is possible. So $4 T, if $0.7 is achievable, then whole economics and future
changes.
will be something different.
Oh, fantastic. That's an eye opener. Almost 80% reduction from
Yes.
$4 to 0.7.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the big issues which happen when you want to scale up EV and hydrogen. So maybe I'll start with hydrogen first.
Yeah.
What happens when you want to scale up? What are the issues?
So what I see, now we are in pilot stage. For scale up, we say BOM, bill of material. So PEM fuel cell will be there, radiator will be there, some safety equipments will be there. So to be frankly, I'm a project point of view, R&D point of view, hydrogen is notorious gas. We cannot compromise on safety. So 20 to 25% cost is about safety of hydrogen.
Right.
We want to be place safe to reduce the cost or to scaling up. We don't want to compromise on safety. So, what was your question? Yeah.
In terms of scaling up, what are the
Yeah,
challenges?
scaling up. So there are many import parts. So suppose hydrogen detectors are there. So we are importing it. There are no indigenous, you can say,
The
certified
ecosystem,
linked
the ecosystem is still very,
still yet to
very
develop.
nascent stage, early stages.
Yeah. So in that perspective, to reduce the cost, not only hydrogen generation,
Yeah.
required about 100 atoms,
Yes.
including rectifier, DC-DC converters,
Sure.
its safety, CO2 level, equipments, and everything that need to be addressed. So it is journey.
It's a journey. Okay. Thank you, Dada Sahib. So on EV, what do you see, Sushil, as the challenges in scaling up?
So, as I mentioned that it has been few years where we have started the EV journey in India, and mainly all of us know that there are two major barriers for EV adoption or scale up. One is the initial price of the vehicle, where everyone, when we started, it was used to be something around 1.5 times the cost of ICE. But as we see, the vehicles which are in the range of 18 to 25 lakhs, they have parity with ICE. So diesel automatic and EV will come at the same price.
Wow.
And of course, the range of the vehicle also matters. So it depends on how much battery capacity we would like to build into the electric vehicle. That will change the cost. But for a practical vehicle like Curve, which is 400 kilometer real life range, is at parity of diesel automatic today.
Okay.
So that barrier was there, and I feel that as an industry, through localization, through scale, through reduction in the battery prices, we have been able to kind of address that.
Understand.
The second barrier is on the charging infrastructure. If I have to travel, whether I'll get to charge my vehicle.
Yeah.
So let me just share a data point that around 95% of the charging happens at home. So the concern that we have for us, whether I'll be able to get charged, that's actually a myth.
Yeah.
When it comes to public charging, India today has 18,000 public chargers, and it is more than the CNG stations that we have. Around 3 weeks back, we did Kashmir to Kanyakumari, second edition, in 77 hours. So you take any part of India.
This is on the road or helicopter or plane or what?
It was on the road, and we took around 13 odd charging pit stops.
Right.
And last
Just
time,
77 hours from Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
Last time it was 95 hours.
Mind-boggling.
It was 95 hours, and we took 21 charging stations. So we are able to go longer now. And also more charging stations are available. So the concern that we have, a combination of range and charging infrastructure, was also a barrier.
Better. Yeah.
But now it is currently being addressed. And of course, it's not sorted completely. It's a long way where we have started positive.
Thank you. I have lots of questions to ask, but I want to keep the audience engaged. Anyone has a really serious question, something which you think will open up also, the things for everyone else? So anyone with a question, raise your hand. Yes, sir. Go ahead. So you can come here and ask if you want.
Hydrogen trend. Yes, there is tender. So there is technology difference. So there is, uh, suppose 200 to 400 kilometer. Let me answer. Okay. So yeah, so there are at hilly region there is tender. So it is 400-kilometer range. It will in circular manner. We will feel the hydrogen at one point. It will cross 400 kilometer again, come at same station. So electrolyzer or a hydrogen generation plant is very nearby. Now there are two approaches. How you want to store the hydrogen. So to keep hydrogen like it's 200 kg, 250 kg at instant in the train, that is big question mark. So how you can storage? So there is other mechanism, liquid or organic hydrogen carrier. So you can store hydrogen into the LOSC or liquid form. So its weight density is more. So both approach are going. So, but I see as per my knowledge, not more than 400 kilometers at first phase. Hydrogen train. So for us, we are in electrolysis. No, so there is blue hydrogen, gray hydrogen, and so we are in the business of H2O, water and electricity. So we have solid oxide electrolyzer, alkaline electrolyzer. So you can say, moti, you can say 55 units to 60 units of electricity, 10 liter of DI water will give you 1 kg of hydrogen and 8 kg of oxygen. It will not give only hydrogen, it will give oxygen also.
Hello. Yeah. I'm BH Shrikant, Renewable Energy Consultant. Now we are charging electric vehicles by consuming MSV, say at about 8 rupees, 10 rupees per unit. Okay. Instead of that, if we solar
Thank you.
charging EV.
Thank you, sir. You want to use solar for EV charging?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And let me just tell you that at this moment, around 40%, 30 to 40% of the vehicles which are sold in Kerala for us are essentially electric vehicles. And the EV adoption has been coupled by solar. So the places where there is an independent house, most of the EV owners, so depending upon which state it is, so Kerala, Rajasthan, Gujarat, even Maharashtra has got a good solar penetration. And the combination of solar and electric vehicles reduces the tailpipe emission as well as the energy generation emission to zero. And it has been adopted by many people. Just to give you an next step is we are working along with multiple solar players so that a combined product could be made available to a consumer. So consumer takes a solar as well as electric vehicle, and together essentially it is a zero emission electric mobility.
Great. I think that's a great insight. Yes, sir. The gentleman.
Hello. My name is Sandeep Bendre. I have been working in Middle East for last 17 years. So I have find the difference of electric vehicles used in the Middle East and which are used in India. To be very frank, means I will open it. Like you said, you travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari in 77 hours. You could have traveled that by a diesel or a petrol vehicle, maybe in 60 hours. The main hitch for you is you don't have charging stations. You said you had too many charging. No. The problem is in India, they are not promoting on each and every petrol pump, you should promote a hydrogen station or an electric vehicle. In UAE, when it started in Middle East, nobody used to use the petrol vehicles. Nobody used to use the electric vehicles. Why? Because sheikhs, the sheikh, they say, I drive the vehicle should not drive me.
Sir, what's your question, sir?
My question is, are you, as you are, selling the vehicles or something like that, can you put a pressure on the government to build electric vehicle means charging station on each and every petrol pump?
Thank
Can you do this?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. So, great question. And it goes back to a consumer whether he will find a charging station or not. So, as we speak, we have started open collaboration. And as we spoke, it is not possible that only one vehicle manufacturer, launches a vehicle and the adoption happens. The consumer needs to find charging stations. So, we have more than 12 charging point operator as partners. with whom we are working, and we are ensuring that the places where people travel, the charging stations are available. HPCL, IOCL, BPCL are part of that collaboration, and government is proactively working along with all the oil marketing companies to install chargers. Just to go one step further, when it comes to oil marketing companies are ensuring that there is enough support provided by the government in FAME 2, which is essentially the government's plan for faster
Subsidy,
adoption of manufacturing of electric vehicles and
Yeah.
adoption. There was a incentive provided. Even in the PM E-Drive scheme that is running, around 2,000 crores have been allocated for charging infrastructure development. So government is doing its part. We are doing our part by providing insight where the charger should come in, and then OMCs as well as
But
private players are
I
doing.
think I take his point. It's still a long way off, and India is different from UAE. The
Yeah.
breadth and all that. Thank you, sir. Next, sir. Last question, then we'll come to the end.
So I have two questions.
Go ahead, sir.
So we know that service is a bottleneck. So how Tata is taking care for service on battery vehicles?
So we have a service infrastructure available across India when it comes to our passenger cars, and we are working along with our channel partners to ensure that the service stations are enabled for essentially repairing and attending service for electric vehicles as well. Along with that, we have also tied up with the roadside assistance, where we are able to ensure that a person who is stuck up is attended immediately. Along with that, the problem that comes back is, if I'm not able to charge, then in that case, what do I do? So there is a unified call center where person can call and get a understanding how he should essentially be attended for if there is an issue for electric vehicles.
I think we run out of time. The panelists are going to be available for another 10-15 minutes. They are here. They are not going away. So you can ask them the question and get satisfied. So let me come to the closure of this panel by asking them to give their point of view about the future of their respective, hydrogen and EVs. What do you see as the future in India? Your last statement.
Yeah. So I think for EVs up to 200, 250 kilometers or city, EVs will have its own place. For hydrogen, when traction is more, the capacity required, or so like as a higher heavy vehicles, heavy equipments, and those who are going to run 5,000 hours per year or 4,000 hours per year heavily. So there, and the hydrogen cost, now it is $4. When it will come to $1 or $1.5, it makes sense. So whatever I think hydrogen is now, where EV was there in 2015-14, in 2035,
Right.
2036.
So next
whatever
10 years,
yeah,
you see a big jump.
big picture.
Thank
jump.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, Sushil, last comments on the EV future.
So we have seen that we have moved from few thousands to around 2% electric vehicle penetration, and we see in next couple of years we should cross the threshold, which is called as a tipping point,
Yeah.
crossing 5% EV penetration in four-wheelers, and from there typically the slope is much steeper, and we, with the support of all the government stakeholders, ecosystem players, and significant effort put in by OEMs, we see that India as a country should cross 20% very soon.
So, friends, thank you for being a great audience. Let me close by saying that India's mobility depends on the bold investments done today. The choices we make now will define the next decade. Thank you for being a wonderful audience, and thank you once again to my panelists. Let's give a big hand to them.
Thank you. I now request Mr. Praveen More, Deputy Director, Industries, DIC Pune, to felicitate the guests. We now move on to the last panel discussion for today. A very important topic nonetheless, investment in women-led enterprises. I request the panelists to please come on stage. Ms. Mrunal Patel, MD, Earth Care Equipments. Ms. Swati Ghaisas, ED, Shalaka Electronics. And Ms. Maitreyi Kamble, CEO, Superb Seva Sanitech and Swarsa. I also invite our moderator, Ms. Nandita Khaire, Co-Chairperson, Women Entrepreneurs Committee, MCCIA.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to introduce myself as the co-chairperson of the Women Entrepreneurship Committee, Center of Excellence for Women Entrepreneurs. Just a small little introduction about the Center of Excellence for Women Entrepreneurs. We have launched this initiative 2 years ago to assist women entrepreneurs in various, I would say, areas like, let's say, HR, marketing, uh, knowing more about how to prepare a business plan, how to make proposals. In short, the challenges which women entrepreneur faces. And we have been operating for the last 2 years and have seen that there are a lot of small, I would say, nano entrepreneurs who really come and they have taken the benefit of our services. We have co-working spaces on Turk Road, very beautiful for women entrepreneurs, startups, so they can come and make use of the place for as an office or whether they want to have a meeting. And plus a lot of training programs which are happening continuously. And these training programs are to do with whatever latest which is trending and which is happening, for example, now whether it is AI, etc. So that was a little introduction, and I would suggest all of you, if you have wives or sisters or cousins or friends who are women entrepreneurs, please ask them to definitely get in touch with MCCI and be a part of this growing network of women entrepreneurs, and it's meant for all of you. I'm not going to now personally introduce, and I would leave the introductions to the respective members of the esteemed panel. But yes, that is Maitreyi Kamble, then we have Shalaka Ghaisas, and then we have Mrunal Patil. It's best that they introduce themselves and their business, and then I will ask them questions.
Thank you, Nandita. And thank you, MCCIA, for inviting me here to be a part of this discussion. Well, the name of my company is Earth Care Equipments Private Limited. We are a manufacturing company based in Bhosri, Pune. We manufacture equipment required for waste management. It's a 15-year-old company, and it's a family business. And we are exporting to about 14 countries, and domestically also we are there in the top 3. Thanks.
Yeah, so thank you to MCCI and also the audience for being patient to listen to us in this last session. My name is Swati Ghaisas, and I represent my brands Minilex, Statfield, and Intech. We are basically into industrial products, manufacturing, electronics, and engineering under the brand names of Minilex, Statfield, and Intech. We are a 60-year-old group. We are located in Pirangur. We are working domestically, obviously, and we are also exporting to 45 countries currently.
Thank you so much. Namaste. I am Maitreyi Kamble. I run a startup called Superb Seva Sanitech. We are into sanitation technologies, and for past 7 years, we've been working with municipal corporations to manage the liquid waste from maintaining the sewage lines to disposing rightly. We've been located across India, and we have offices around Chennai, Delhi, and Hyderabad. I am based in Pune. I also represent a chamber called Dalit Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dicky. I look after Dicky's next gen vertical. And I'm very happy to be here today along with all these amazing women. Thank you.
So I'll start off with a few pertinent questions, which I'm sure every entrepreneur faces. I'm not making a distinction here. So I will begin with Maitreyi as to what are the current challenges she faces, rather than what challenges you have faced in the past. As a businesswoman and running, let's say, your business, which is a startup, I believe, what are the challenges you face? Sorry.
Uh, so I'm very new compared to all my other co-panelists. So I should really be modest with my answers when I say challenges. So it's been 7 years we've been working. My biggest challenge was to convince government that there is an issue with the disposal or the mechanism of liquid waste management, or there is a problem. So that was my first hurdle to begin with. But as a woman entrepreneur, definitely we all have an additional hurdles to cross over, which of course even I had when I was going around doing market research. A lot of people wouldn't budge to talk at all, give me answers. It's a very male dominated industry, and nobody would understand why a woman is trying to solve something. Why are you curious about what's happening in the sewage line? I used to ask questions that why safai karmacharis are getting inside a sewerage line just to remove a block, and that used to be very enraging to these municipal people or officers. So that was my first hurdle, I would say, and it was very challenging at the beginning, being a woman, being a young person also, to just knock doors and ask questions. So I think that I would say was my challenge.
Interesting. Particularly in the domain that you are working in, I'm sure it's very, very challenging. All right, coming to you, Swati. I'd like to hear about, or let's say, please share your.
Yeah, I personally feel that any enterprise or any entrepreneur does not have a gender. So the difficulties that are faced by me are very much faced by any other entrepreneur sitting in any other organization. As a representative, let's say a small part of electronic industry, I feel that the challenges that I'm facing in, let's say, supply chain today could be an area where we want some change. Today's government is obviously taking progressive steps in that direction. So we hope that in the next 10 years to come, we're going to see very good time for the electronic industry in general. Another area would be skilled manpower that is available, because at the speed at which the change the market is expecting, and in the electronic industry, we are always shrinking in size with more deliverables. So the skilled manpower that is required for the entire ecosystem in the electronic industry, I think that is one area where we face a little challenge.
Okay. What about you, Mrinal?
Well, I would second her thought, because I also am from waste management field, and then not a lot of women in manufacturing in waste management. So that's an odd combination. So I have faced multiple issues there. Nevertheless, it's passed. One thing that comes across majorly is unorganized players in our field. In the sense, a lot of underpricing happens. They collect the waste and throw it somewhere. They don't process it properly. So the government is trying to put a lot of regulations there, but it is working very slow. If we are picking up at, say, X amount, there would be some unorganized players picking at X minus 10 or X minus 15. So it becomes difficult then. Ethically doing waste processing, which is important for, the environment, is missing somewhere.
Okay.
That's one of the challenges. Second is again skilled manpower. After COVID, I'm seeing a lot of change in people, their working ethic, their attitude, getting into the details. And currently, I'm seeing that the top management needs to get into the details more than before. You know, so if there are some reports, important reports submitted, you need to get in details and check whether the information produced is correct or no, which was not
Right.
the case previously. That's the second challenge, skilled manpower. Third is international exposure or help that's required for small scale industries or MSMEs like us. Say, for example, if I'm trying to export or trying to build a collaboration outside, for me as a women led enterprise in India, it's very difficult to showcase myself in the waste management field outside where they're not very internet friendly, or rather they're not very internet savvy. So that's one of the challenges that
Right.
I'm facing. Yeah.
Uh, Coming to what the government has been doing, it is a very, very big agenda about empowering women entrepreneurs for the central government. And when you see the gamut of schemes which are available both at the center and at the state level, have you taken a benefit of any of those schemes, particularly in manufacturing, machinery, and so on and so forth? Or has any of the government initiatives for women has been helpful to you? Yeah, you can.
Well, I was approached recently by Exim Bank for the schemes that they have for entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs, where they would fund our international collaborators if they want to buy from us. So that's one thing that's interesting. Come together. The second one was come together and we could plan an exhibition outside internationally where we could go in as India, companies from India. That was interesting. I haven't availed the benefit as yet, but those are interesting and which could benefit.
All right.
So when I was invited for being a panelist, that was the first time I actually went online and checked what were the schemes that were available for women. But there is a lot of schemes are available, and just to give you a small glimpse, if we see the manufacturing sector, there is a non-agro sector and there is a agro sector. Non-agro is slightly bigger. If we see on the scale basis, micro industries are higher in scale. Then we have the medium and then the large industries. So in the non-agro industry, the major chunk where women entrepreneurs are working is the food industry primarily, and allied industry to that. Manufacturing still is a smaller part of that. But there are a lot of schemes available where you can say that women who are startups may face challenges. I tried to memorize some of the names, but I could not. But from startup funding to issues where women entrepreneurs basically face a funding problem due to assets not being in the name. So collateral is a problem. So to address that issue, government has some schemes and some could go up to as high as 20 crores. That is what I have read. So now I do plan to look into some of the schemes, but I have not been required to work on any of them currently. But few of them do seem available on the internet. But my question to myself was, if there are so many schemes, why am I not aware of these schemes? So the first challenge would be that making everybody aware of what the schemes are. So if I'm aware, I will go and avail something. Now, where do I avail them? Where do I apply? Okay, so now I know where to apply. How do I apply? How do I take the benefits? So maybe the schemes are there. Maybe the penetration and the awareness creation that is required among women entrepreneurs, that may need to be addressed.
Uh, being a representation of another chamber, I must visit to the policies because we work as a policy maker with the organization as well. The first policy for women entrepreneurs in this country, which was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, called Stand Up India. It's a two-part scheme. One is for SC/ST entrepreneurs, and the other is for women. And it is a brainchild of Dicky. So we are the hand-holding agency for that policy, and I'm very happy to mention that 75% of the beneficiaries of that policy are women beneficiaries, and banks are very uh, proactive to lend loans in range from 10 lakh rupees to 75 lakhs in the bracket of the policy. uh, and they're happy because the women entrepreneurs who've sought loan are the maximum number of repayments, regular payments of the EMIs, and that is what the report of Stand Up India also said after 10 years of the policy. So that is one policy which is available for all women entrepreneurs. Then there are other policies which are not dedicated to women but are useful again, which is Mudra Yojana. It's a microfinance policy again from 50,000 to 10 lakh rupees. Then there are, as being a startup, of course, there are different initiatives happening in Startup India front as well. I have not taken any benefit from the Startup India yet, but we are promoting a lot of policies, and one of them is the Startup India Seed Fund available for women as well. So these are few policies I wanted to mention the minute I saw this question. But definitely, it is changing the landscape of access to finance for all of us who are trying to get into business and who do not have enough capital available with us. So that, and I duly note this point also, that more awareness about these policies needs to be there, because that is going to benefit the larger group of people.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest challenges that the government face is communications, because knowing about all these policies, I don't think anybody is going to go personally to all the websites and see. In that way, MCCI did a great job with there was the magazine Sampada, and one issue was completely devoted to about the schemes which are available for women, and there was a very thorough, what you call, a deep dive into it, and it just very useful to have such information all aggregated in one place. And I think in any case, on some of the fields, perhaps if the government can at the state level also increase the what you call communication through Twitter or through what you call, we really have a luxury of communication platforms now, not like what it was, let's say, 20, 30 years ago, when communication was so very difficult. And that, I think, could definitely improve. Now, generally, what I have been observing, when you all have been saying a lot of optimism and a lot of opportunity now for business. Let's hear your take, Pranay.
For my industry, yes. We are into this green initiatives and green industry for 15 years, and last 2 years have been the best, not only in India, but across the world. Everybody is investing there without uh, thinking about ROI. That's important. So things are looking positive, and hopefully trying to make the most of it.
Yes, from my side, definitely our industry definitely has a bright future. Electronic industry with automation, the new buzzword of AI, which is there, definitely has good prospects. We are today, in fact, working on multiple verticals, trying to keep up with the pace that the market wants. We are currently with the LV industry, so low voltage. So we now want to venture into the medium voltage and high voltage also. Plus, we have the EV industry, which is also encouraging us. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised or shocked to know that 95% of the EVs are home charged. That is not very encouraging for developers like us. But then we have the database, data centers which are coming up, which are also a very good industry for us. So yes, overall, the industry is definitely very encouraging today.
Yes, same answer I would like to give, that it's a full of opportunities. I always say that this is the right time to get in business in India. We have a lot of doors open, and so much of trade industry happening at so many levels. I was in fact part of the delegation recently which went to the United Nations COP29 in Baku, and we were discussing climate finance. What she rightly mentioned, that it is on priority for everyone globally, that ensuring the environment, ensuring the projects that work for environment are scaled, are mapped, and also create something meaningful out of that. It is not very limited to profits. Now we also say that triple bottom line is planet, people, profits. But I was very happy to see how encouraging our government is towards that as well, be it through solar alliance, or through different initiatives that have been taken up by the government. Also, I would like to mention that the startup ecosystem that is currently available for youngsters like me, or anybody who has any idea and wants to try that out, there are great opportunities across, and it is not limited to just Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore. It is going to tier 2, tier 3 cities, where the real talent now is trying to find that right mentoring, or that money or market, for that matter. So definitely I would say it's full of opportunities and very optimistic view.
That's really very heartening to know. What about you, Swati?
You want me to add something?
Yes, basically, how do you see the opportunities increasing, and what is, let's say, advice to wannabe entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, or let me not make a
Yes, please, please. So, I basically feel that industrial manufacturing has always been a very dominant field, right from industrialization. So there, and India, specifically, if you say Indian women, we have always been apt at multitasking. So higher efficiencies, lower cost, like frugal engineering is something that which we are very good at. So Indian MSMEs have shown very good development innovations which are being done in that way. So young entrepreneurs, women, or any entrepreneur should definitely venture into this field. Automation is the keyword. So keeping a mindset of continual improvement, couple it with automation, and we have very good prospects. Electronic industry, government is having very progressive policies in place. So with the semiconductor industry coming up in the next 10 years, it is going to be very encouraging, and we should make the most of it. So I feel it is more of, let's say today I'm running a 5K race. So yes, I'm happy, but running now is my skill set. What I need to aim for in the next 2 years is I want my half marathon, and I want it sub 2. So it is more about mindset more than skill set. So mindset over skill set is something which is going to take me a long way.
Mrinal, I'd like to ask you a very specific question, particularly regarding customers. Do you find the domestic market to be very, very, what you call vibrant, and there's a lot of opportunity, or do you find that, international markets to be more, where will you prefer to work with more?
That's a good question. Domestically, there is a lot of movement in terms of a lot of funds being pumped in by central as well as the state governments to municipalities for waste management. So bigger projects are coming in. The small machine market is not as much now. More than it's more of a large scale waste management market. It is good. It is difficult. It is very long term. I mean, once you start quoting for the business, it takes about 2.5, 3 years, and it's very, what do you say? It's a strain on finance for a company like us, for a small company like us. So as much as it is promising, the duration needs to shorten when we're working with municipalities or the government, because there is where the business is right now. Second thing, internationally, as I said, India is much ahead in terms of technology that we provide for waste management. So that's very heartening. And when I talk to people saying that these kinds of machines have been there in the Indian market for the last 15 plus years, they are really surprised. In fact, 2 years back, I was in US and I made a presentation in one of the municipalities, and they were really amazed that there is a fully automatic machine that can give you compost. And I was like, we're using this for last 10 plus years. So, many developed countries are behind, but again, making a mark there and establishing collaborations for our size of company gets little tough. But once we establish the trust there, it's a free flow. That is what I have experienced. We've been working with Europe for last 6, 7 years now. And once the trust was established, it was good.
All right, right. Swati, about of ISRO, where women in ISRO being showcased to depict the R&D. What is your thought in the private sector?
uh, just some WhatsApp gyan that I caught up with. Some of the basic innovations that have been done in our life, like the paper bag that we use to carry stuff, has been developed by a woman. A toilet paper holder has been developed by a woman. Going to more technical products, dishwashers have been developed by women. To male-dominated areas, the wipers on our windshields, cars, they have been innovated, developed by women. So I don't think that women are anyway behind. But today, what we more women need is role models. They have the capacity. They just need more role models to push them into the development field. If you see the entrepreneurs that are there today, they're all developers on their own. So it's just that women entrepreneurs need a little bit of push and a role model which they can follow and go ahead.
I think, will the government be able to provide that little push which is required for women in the R&D space, particularly because there is R&D is an area which I think needs a lot of what you call investment. Uh,
I think it is more of a society mindset, which needs to change more than the government. The government is taking its efforts. Our society in general is designed towards male development activities. So I'm not saying Indian society, I'm saying in general, the society. So the bread earner is decided. So women have to break certain barriers, and that is where they face the challenge. So if given the opportunity, or if they take the opportunity, I won't say given the opportunity, if they take the opportunity, we definitely have a lot of innovation capacity amongst us.
All right. One last question now to, since you are the youngest and I would say one of the leaders. What would be your, let's say, I don't want to put in the word advice, but how do you, let's say, look at the role of leadership, and whether in your generation there is a crop of women leaders coming up, and whether they can provide the role model which Swati was talking about?
Definitely. A lot of women role models are now coming up from younger generations, be it on Shark Tank, or that is like one of the platforms to showcase what women leaders are doing. But yes, it is very rightly said that there is still limitation to the sectors they are representing. Women entrepreneurs are always associated with some definite sectors, but it's not always lonsa papad and some decorative stuff, but they can also be in industries like manufacturing, industries like electronics. And I think these are the role models. These are the role models for me. These are the role models for women like me. I believe women entrepreneurship, or in particularly women being able to work as an entrepreneur in today's era is more flourishing, and it may be even more flourishing for next 10 years, when India will see so many other changes happening. And I think it is one of the sunrise for us, and it's a great opportunity also. Also, talking about a sector I represent, again, as Mronaltai said very rightly, it is very difficult to find women in waste management, whereas most of the uh, domestic handling of the waste is done by a woman at a level of house. Most
Yes.
waste
Yes.
management part is taken care by a woman. Yet if you talk about business, there are very few. And I would urge that the industry I am in, liquid waste, I am the only second uh, organized business in the country who is doing this, and there is ample of opportunity and there is so much of scope. We need to step up our game and get into this business. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm sure all of you must be feeling that, or rather, it is very, very optimistic and great business environment for women entrepreneurs to flourish. Also, it would seem like as if we are hardly facing any challenges. All right, yeah, please do so.
Well, me and Swati and Nandita also were discussing that be a man or a woman, if you have the skill set, it doesn't really matter. Uh, that's, where I feel the women fall back is learning. They have I always say that I do 3 shifts: one shift in the morning, second is the office shift, and the third is the evening house shift. So there are 3 shifts that I work in, but that's by choice. And when these shifts get tiring, what you really fall back is on learning and keeping yourself updated in technology and innovation. And I'll be surprised if there are any women who have really caught on to the my age or middle aged women entrepreneurs who've caught on to the AI wave. So if they catch on there, if you make sense when you're sitting in the meeting, and if you're adding value, then it doesn't really matter whether you're a man or a woman. So
Well said.
yes.
I feel that digitization has broken a lot of traditional work barriers which women had. So I think that we should take advantage of that situation and play to our advantage.
Yeah. On another note, my experience that after COVID, there was a sudden, what you call, burst of a lot of women entrepreneurship. And I saw a lot of women who were previously in IT suddenly realized to take a different career and got into small businesses. And some of them, of course, have taken the help of CWE, and we have guided them in terms of how to what you call find markets for themselves and so on and so forth. And yes, undoubtedly what is very important is the question of adapting to the digitization process as well as learning, which I agree is very much there. And of course, Mrinalini, wonderful to know what you have been sorry, I didn't Maitri, wonderful to know what you have been doing and carrying what you call doing policy, working out on policy and helping the government. Thank you very much for having been part of this panel and having given a certain amount of time for this particular what you call event. Thank you very much. Any questions from the men folk? Yes.
Hello, my name is Sandeep Bendre. Yeah, my question is, means I was hearing from the two ladies. One of them is working on waste management. One of them is working on sewerage. Okay, you are entrepreneurs. Okay, as an entrepreneur, I know you can also work like promote, means the ladies, the people working with you are Safai Karmacharis. Are you doing any NGO for them? Don't give me answers related to the government, that government is doing this or government is doing that. Because the Safai Karmacharis who are working with you, the average life of a Safai Karmachari is less as compared to a normal man. So are you promoting any NGO or doing anything for those Safai Karmacharis?
I think it is very related to me. Yes, sir. The life expectancy of an average Safai Karmachari in this country is 45 years old. And I would also like to add one more part, that they belong from one single community, all of the Safai Karmacharis, and that community comes under the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So the chamber I represent, called DICCI, which is a business chamber, they are trying to do a lot of policy intervention, lot of work for rehabilitation of the Safai Karmacharis from just a Safai worker or Safai Karmachari to become a Safai entrepreneur. We call them Sanipreneurs, and they are all part of the business I am in. They get opportunities through this business. We have currently 368 such Safai Karmacharis turned into Sanipreneurs, and we are working with municipal corporations also to sensitize uh, the local Safai vendors or local karmacharis who are other than this job, also to make sure that they are taking care of their health. And I'm proudly, I'd like to say that until we were in the picture, there were a lot of sewerage death happening across Hyderabad, Delhi and Chennai. Today, there is no single death is reported due to sewerage work, and we are 100% mechanizing the entire activity, and that is for, I think, Safai Karmachari. If you want to add.
Excuse me, the question still goes on. You must have heard the name of Bezwada Wilson. You know Mr. Bezwada Wilson. He is one of the person from Karnataka who is working for Safai Karmacharis. To go ahead with this.
I think let's stop here.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
break for
No,
tea.
no. I am
and,
talking about. I am talking about as both of them are entrepreneurs, whether it is in waste management.
Let's keep it to
or-
the entrepreneurship topic.
Yeah. No, no. That's what an entrepreneur can definitely go for an NGO. They can promote the NGO and do for the Safai Karmacharis. We should not say that everything has to be done by the government. It has to be done by you also. So, do you agree on this? Yeah.
Uh, I agree absolutely. You are right when you say that the entrepreneur needs to take care of it, and we try to take care of it through technology. When when the machines are designed and developed by us, we make sure that they are it does not require any segregation. So let me add to it. When there's a lot of waste that comes in, all the technologies that are available, including biogas, need segregation, and that is a failure point for organic waste. That's where the technology doesn't work. And if you, I don't know whether you have visited any waste management plants, but the people who actually segregate have to drink a lot and be they're not in their senses when they're doing that job, because it is that dirty. To avoid that, what we do is we have developed machines that do not require segregation. So whenever the trucks come in, they just dump it into the machine and that's it. So that's our contribution, our company's contribution to what you say, the Safai Karmacharis.
Yeah, my question is the same. Like everywhere a machine cannot reach. Everywhere a machine cannot reach. There are some places where only the people are working. Those Safai Karmacharis, you have to do something for them.
We will definitely try.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I bring this particular session to an end, and have a very, very nice tea time. Thank you.
Thank you. A big round of applause, please. I request Ms. Archana Kothari, ma'am, General Manager, District Industry Center, Pune, to please felicitate the guests. I now invite Ms. Archana Kothari, General Manager, District Industry Center, Pune, to give the vote of thanks.
नमस्कार. माननीय विभागीय आयुक्त उद्योग यांच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली आज आपण इन्व्हेस्टमेंट समिट इथे आयोजित केली. त्या इन्व्हेस्टमेंट समिटसाठी मला इथे आभार प्रदर्शनासाठी माझे आभार सगळ्यांचे इथे माझे विचार व्यक्त करण्यासाठी किंवा सगळ्यांचेच विचार व्यक्त करण्याची आम्हाला सगळ्यांना संधी दिली आणि आभार प्रदर्शनासाठी मला इथे बोलवलं, त्याबद्दल मी उद्योग संचालनालयाचा आधी आभार व्यक्त करते. त्याचप्रमाणे या आपल्या कार्यक्रमात जे प्रमुख पाहुणे म्हणून आपल्याला माननीय विभागीय आयुक्त पुणे, जिल्हाधिकारी पुणे, तसेच MCDचे कार्यकारी संचालक, इंडिया पोस्टचे जयभाई साहेब, तसेच इथे उपस्थित जे आमचे प्रमुख पाहुणे होते हे या कार्यक्रमासाठी उपस्थित राहिले, त्याबद्दल मी त्यांचे मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करते. या कार्यक्रमात इथे जे उपस्थित होते आमचे सर्व शासकीय अधिकारी, तसेच सर्व उद्योग संघटनेचे सर्व सभासद, त्याचप्रमाणे विविध बँकचे प्रतिनिधी सुद्धा इथे उपस्थित होते, त्यांचेही मी मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करते. या कार्यक्रमात चर्चासत्रामध्ये जे उपस्थित होते सर्व सभासद, त्यांचेही मी इथे मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करते. त्याचप्रमाणे आम्हाला या कार्यक्रमासाठी ज्यांनी मार्गदर्शन दिले आहे असे आमचे उद्योग सहसंचालक यांचेही मी खूप आभार व्यक्त करते. आणि या कार्यक्रमासाठी सर्वात मोलाचा वाटा असलेले कोपर्डीकर सर आणि त्यांची MCCIची पूर्ण टीम, याचंही आम्ही मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करतो. त्यांनी काल रात्री उशिरापर्यंत आमच्याबरोबर पूर्ण कोऑर्डिनेट करून हा कार्यक्रम पूर्णपणे यशस्वी करण्यात खूप त्यांचा अनमोल याच्यामध्ये सहभाग आहे. त्याचप्रमाणे आमचे विभागीय कार्यालयाची जे संबंधित सर्व अधिकारी कर्मचारी आहेत, MCDचे सर्व अधिकारी कर्मचारी, त्यांचंही मी आभार व्यक्त करते. तसेच सर्वात महत्त्वाचं म्हणजे माझी जिल्हा उद्योग केंद्राची जी सगळी आमची पूर्ण टीम आहे, ती संपूर्णपणे CMEGPचं एवढं मोठं टार्गेट आमच्या वर असताना सुद्धा मार्चच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यांनी पूर्ण अतोरात इथे प्रयत्न करून हा कार्यक्रम यशस्वी करण्यात खूप त्यांनी अनमोल याच्यामध्ये वाटा त्यांचा आहे, खारीचा वाटा म्हणेल मी, तर त्यांचंही मी मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करते सगळ्यांचं. तसेच हा कार्यक्रम यशस्वी होण्यासाठी ज्यांनी प्रत्यक्ष किंवा अप्रत्यक्षपणे आमच्या कार्यक्रमात हातभार लावला, त्या सर्वांचं मी मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करते. आणि उद्योग सहसंचालक यांच्या वतीने आणि त्यांच्या संमतीने कार्यक्रम समाप्त झाला याचं हे घोषित करते. पुन्हा एकदा सर्वांचे खूप खूप मनपूर्वक आभार. जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र.
Please stay back for tea. Arrangements have been made at the same place where you had lunch. Thank you very much.